Well, good morning, my friends. Your old pal Jordan the Lion, live from Rome. It's our last day here. Now, this is going to be kind of a weird day because I mentioned yesterday that I pretty much had seen everything on my list and today was a free day. However, last night when I was looking around for things I wanted to do today, you're not going to believe this, but everything that I wanted to do today is pretty much a rehash of yesterday. We're not going to see the same things, but all the things that I want to see are either at the same places and I didn't know it, or I looked at it and didn't know the story. So we're going back today. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. And it's my last night in this S-hole. This place sucked. This is the worst hostel I've stayed in all of my travels. They had they advertised they had Wi-Fi, but none of us in my room and most of the people in the entire building, come 7 o'clock in the evening on, you couldn't get Wi-Fi at all. And as a YouTuber who daily vlogs, that was a real annoyance. If they wouldn't have charged me for the entire stay, the very first night I was here, I would have left right away. And they even called a technician out to check it, and the technician just said, the signal's just extremely weak and it's not meant for uploading. And I said, well, you should mention that on your site that you don't have Wi-Fi, because that's a basic necessity for a traveler. Some people in the comment section had asked me to kind of like mention what I thought of the hostels and stuff, so there you go. There was mold in the showers, but like I said, I'm not really gonna complain that much because that was my choice to stay in a hostel. Those are the things that you sometimes encounter, and if it's spending money on attractions and trying good food and not spending a lot more money on a room, I think that's a better trade for me. Well, where we're going today is back over to the square where the St. John's of the Lateran Church was, and what we're going to see today is the Sancta Sanctorum, which was the original church, and it's the only original property that was left from the reconstruction of the St. John of the Lateran Church. Now, what's really fascinating about this is this was the original place that the popes would preach from before there was ever a Vatican or a Vatican City. Now, in yesterday's video, I actually did show you guys the church, the front of the church, because I was so mesmerized by that dome inside of it that I could not help but show you. So we're gonna go back over today, take a closer look, and unfortunately, I know the church is closed for some sort of renovation or whatever right now, but believe it or not, there's something even more important in the front of that church than even the fact that that was the home church of the very first popes here. There's something right in front that I think will blow your mind. So when we get there and I tell you what it is, think about my amazement when I read it and then said, are you kidding me? I was just there today and didn't know it. Everything happens for a reason. It's a good thing I had that one free day. I can go back and revisit this. And by the way, guys, I enjoyed that fettuccine alfredo so much last night. I decided, since I'm going back over to that area today anyway, I might as well have my lunch there and try a marinara dish. Now, I will tell you that fettuccine alfredo was incredible, but it was pricey. It was 19 euro. That was about €5 more than most of the other pasta dishes on the menu, and it's because it's their specialty and they invented it, and I get it, so it's totally worth it. I asked them if they had a picture of Shelley Winters in there, and I said, oh, a friend of mine used to live in Italy and was married to Vittorio Gassman, and he goes, we do have a signed photo of Vittorio Gassman in the back to the right, and I went to walk back there, and there's actually a family sitting at a table right under it, like 6 people family, and I just felt weird about intruding or whatever, so maybe there won't be anybody there today and I can go take a look. I'll be honest, I am ready to get back home though. I'm having a great trip, but like I've said in past travel vlogs, I'm about a 10-day traveler, and then I'm ready to get back and see Ja and see my girl. And it's funny, somebody commented that, they're like, hey, did you know Vincent Price in Dr. Goldfoot and the Gold Bombs, he actually throws a coin into the Trevi Fountain that basically sets the whole world on its ears. And I said, you know what? I didn't know that because I've never seen that movie. When I was hardcore into buying those movies, the only one you could get was Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. That took place in San Francisco, so I've actually never seen the Gold Bombs. Look at that place. I'm sure everybody knows what a Vincent Price fan I am, so that did make me pretty happy to hear that Vincent Price had a memorable scene there as well. That beautiful mosaic. Can't even tell you how tiny those little pieces are that they've used to create that are. It's so beautiful. Wow, that tells a story all the way up. There's engravings all the way up that. Now right there, clear as day, you can see Constantine. And this is all part of that same St. John's of the Lateran Palace. This is the base of that. This sign on the wall that I'm going to show you says Piazza Giovanni Paolo II, Plaza of John Paul II. Look at all the protection on here. Wait a minute, it looks like the church itself is actually open, but what we're going to see, that's kind of what's closed off, but we'll still be able to see it. Well, we've made it to the Sancta Sanctorum. Wow. Well, we're inside. Like I said, this was the original church of the Pope before the Vatican City. This is pretty cool. I actually didn't expect to get in here today. But like I said, this is not really specifically what I came for. Now there's a good reason why they have that picture inside here, and that has something to do with what we're going to see next. Now what this staircase is, this was the staircase that Jesus Christ climbed during the Passion up to Pontius Pilate's palace. Empress St. Helena had them moved here from Jerusalem in the 4th century. She was the mother of Constantine, and in order to go up these stairs, you must climb them on your knees, on your hands and knees. Now I show you those people, they're praying and climbing it because these are the actual stairs. They have it covered up because they're renovating it. Like I said, we can't show you. But basically what they did was they got the original stairs and they've put a piece of wood over them that you can climb up the wood, and you can still see the original marble through the wood. So here we are back in front of St. John's of the Lateran Palace, well, church. It was called the Palace at a time, and right here is the actual Sancta Sanctorum. So when I showed you guys this yesterday, I honestly, there were no signs or anything. I wasn't getting good enough reception to look it up or anything, so I just didn't. And then when I came back and I started reading about what was across the street, I actually thought it was these stairs because they kept showing pictures of that online, but it was actually some stairs we couldn't see. So that's why I don't know if you guys could hear it. I'll reiterate it again, just because I was talking so quietly in there. The actual stairs that we were trying to see are closed off for restoration right now, but everybody else was using, they have like 4 separate staircases to go up there, and so they were using that farthest one that leads right up into the chapel that we saw. They're using that one in there as the holy staircase now. But we saw a picture, I kind of showed you a picture. Like I said, the story behind this was that those were the stairs that Jesus Christ carried the cross up during the Passion, up Pontius Pilate's staircase to the palace, and was crucified. So Saint Helena, Empress Saint Helena, the mother of Constantine, some things online said it was the 9th century, but most of them said in the 4th century AD, she had the stairs moved from Jerusalem over here to Rome, where they reside now. It's very surprising to me that I almost missed it, because it is not a highly mentioned thing on tour sites or things to see in Rome or anything like that, and to me, that should be right at the top of the list. I mean, with a legend like that, I mean, assuming that's true, that should be right at the top of the list for people to come see the holy stairs. And of course, this building where the first, basically it was the very first papacy preaching center. Now we have a 45-minute walk to another historic staircase. I think that's supposed to be Andy Warhol, right? And Dali. Well, hello, look what's in front of us. We're wandering towards the Colosseum again. I didn't see these the other day when I was here. This is a totally different section in front of the Colosseum I hadn't looked at, but it makes me wonder if these were kind of shops at one point, or if they were waiting areas for the animals and the people that were going to be gladiators into the Colosseum. I don't know. I mean, you can tell they were broken up into some sort of structures. I just don't know. I certainly am glad I walked. It's kind of nice to get to see this on my last day here. The Arch of Constantine. Head back up to here. That'll be our last look at the Roman Forum, at least for now. And our last visit to the Julius Caesar statue. Such a polarizing person he was, really. I mean, he was important for the day and the strength of Rome, but at the same rate he was a dictator that made himself dictator for life and demanded everyone worship him, and if they didn't, like the Christians wouldn't in those days because they didn't believe in worshiping a false god, he had them slaughtered. So it's an interesting history, both good and bad. Now here the other day, actually at the beginning of our trip in Rome, there's something on the other side of this I want to go show you guys. Alright, remember when we were here the other day? I want to take us up here. This staircase and this city center square and everything up here was designed by Michelangelo. It's not every day you can say that you walk through a town square that Michelangelo designed. Well, like I said, this is Capitoline Hill, and this whole city center was designed by Michelangelo. Beautiful. Now there's a museum up here, and this is actually a copy of his original statue. This is Marcus Aurelius, but the original is actually in the museum right over here because they just didn't want the weather to damage it. But the original was actually, much like you've seen in some of the past vlogs already, those statues that were gold and they've now tarnished to that green. That's what was happening to it, so they put it inside the Capitoline Museum and they put a replica out here. That's the museum, but we're not going to go in there. I think I'm museumed out for a while. Don't get me wrong, I do love them, but I think I want to save some stuff, especially because we've seen on this trip that some things they had closed down while I was here. I want to save some stuff for another return visit. Look at that. How majestic. I believe that's Athena right there in the center. You know what's crazy is the more I was reading, it's amazing how many of the statues out here are copies of Greek original statues. So they may be like 2,500 years old, but the original is like 3,000 years old. So they made a replica of a 500-year-old statue that now still stands. Pretty cool. Well, I mean, it's interesting to me anyway. All right, on to our next stop. Now I'm gonna keep working my way back over towards the Mausoleum of Augustus where we were yesterday, because there's a museum that I showed you the staircase, I showed you the fountain, but we didn't go in the museum, and I found out the altar of peace is in there, and I'd love to go see it. Every time I see this, it reminds me of the Vincent Price movie, The Mask of the Red Death. There's another one of those public drinking fountains. I just saw two people stick their head under there. I noticed, I was thinking to myself, how is it that segways look and appear so much like a chariot and yet look so much goofier? I don't get it. Like this. Like that stuff. Beautiful fountain. But I actually stopped to take a look at this. Every column here seems to have a story, and this one literally has the stories engraved all the way up it. Huh? That column is called the Trajan's Column. I guess that's supposed to be the Statue of Liberty. Well, we made it! We made it to our destination. You guys saw this yesterday, you saw this yesterday, but you didn't see that museum, and that's where we're going now. Now you can see right ahead, or you will be able to when I get there, it's white on white. Clear as day. It says the Arapaxis Augusti. Augustus's Altar of Peace. Let's go check it out and I'll tell you what it's about. Wow, this is a very interesting model. So this is the Arapaxis, and this was a gift of an altar of peace to Augustus after he spent 3 years battling and halting the barbarians that were trying to revolt in Hispania. So when they came back, they gave this to him as a gift, the senators did, and he and a procession of priests walked up it and sacrificed an animal at the top to the gods for winning the resistance. So it was actually moved to inside this museum. We're gonna walk up the same stairs that Augustus would have walked up. It tells the story of the battle right there. And this is the back of it. How incredible we're getting to look at something like this. Something that Emperor Augustus, almost a decade before Jesus, would have walked up and sacrificed an animal to the gods here. And here you can tell part of it's missing. That is absolutely incredible. Looks like we came at cleaning time. That's just so cool. I can't believe I gotta walk up that. And here's a small model of it. Wow, guys, that was pretty awesome. That altar actually was the symbol of the beginning of the Pax Romana era of Rome. So, I mean, like I've been telling you guys, Augustus was one of the greatest rulers of all time in Rome, and to get to walk up the same stairs that he did, just absolutely incredible. They did actually tell me inside that the Mausoleum of Augustus that's right here that they're working on, it's gonna be another 2 years before it's finished, so guess we won't be back here in Rome for at least probably 2 years, I would guess. Now I'm pretty close to Alfredo's. I mean, I'm like a block away, so I'm thinking of going in there and trying a marinara dish today. Oh yeah, I figure when you find some place that's good, why risk any other places? Look at this, their book signed by Woody Allen right there. Ginger Rogers, Ringo Starr, Vincent Price, Roddy McDowell, Jackie Gleason and his wife. Look who's there, Clark Gable. I'll bet you this was it started in Naples. This probably how he gained the weight. Groucho. Jack Lemmon, Alfred Hitchcock, Orson Welles. Look, there she is. There's Shelley Winters and Farley Granger. So Shelley was here. Ernest Borgnine, Donna Reed, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. They actually gave me a brochure of the restaurant with some pictures of famous people eating, so one of you Lionhearts, I'm gonna mail this to you. Look, John F. Kennedy. Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford, are you kidding me? Once I figure out what that is, I might get that. If not, I might go for the fettuccine again. Alright, I went with the lasagna today. Looks great. Great food today. Well, the doors are open, let's go in. Wow. I just happened to be passing by this church and the doors were open. Oh my God, look at this statue. And at his feet, you can see where people have left notes of miracles thanking him. And I went ahead and wrote my own. Oh, and by the way, thank you Karen Stewart and Debbie Moeller for your donations to my channel. Oh boy, look at that. Some strawberry gelato. Well, we made it back to the Spanish Steps. Just like I said, we were gonna pretty much be going back to doing a Groundhog Day of everything we did yesterday, but really why I wanted to come here is I wanna see if I can get in this Keats-Shelley Museum, and I just saw that up on the wall. I'm gonna show you what it says. Can you guys read that? It says, the young English poet John Keats died in this house on the 24th of February, 1821, age 25. I'm gonna see if I can go in the museum if they'll let me film. Well, if they say no, at least you'll have got to see the house that John Keats died in, right? That plaque right there says Keats-Shelley Memorial House, acquired and dedicated to the memory of the two poets by their admirers in England and America. Well, gang, unfortunately it is closed. Nobody's answering the door. Now, I didn't show it in yesterday's video, but you could see this right over Audrey Hepburn's shoulder.
Oh, what was the matter? Trouble with the teacher?
No, nothing like that.
When they're doing the back and forth shots between Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday, so you'll be able to see that one. And I already matched up all that stuff yesterday, so you already know that.
You know how a sniper has a spotter? Yeah. I'm not...
No, your name. Your name.
So they said that Audrey Hepburn stayed up here at the top of this hill, but what I think they meant was she stayed in that hotel right there. Because this is a church. Oh, you can buy wreaths for your head with real flowers. Alright gang, that's it from Rome. Thank you Michelle Kotick and Aileen Rosenberg for becoming my newest Patreons. Everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow on our way back to the airport to leave Rome, Italy, to go back to Los Angeles, California, and back to the Joster. Have a great night. Thank you for supporting this trip. Thank you for watching, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.